Yo, Adam from Westside Mushies again. If you're new here, I'm a grower in Adelaide, South Australia. I only got about a year or so under my belt. Westside Mushies is my business. If you want to know whether you should listen to me or not, check out the first two videos. Have a little suss on my Instagram. Make up your mind from there. I'm not an expert. I'm not... Fucking hell, I'm just walking around in my backyard. Look at this. I've never ever seen mushrooms on this lawn ever in my life. Anyway, yeah, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor. A lot of the stuff that I'll say is just my opinion. Don't take it all for gospel. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But yeah, I put a little question out to my followers on Instagram, the Westside Mushies page, the other day. I've only got about 1,700 followers or something, but I asked them what they wanted me to cover in this video next, because there's only 30 of us on this channel. There's a big difference. Obviously they don't like me too much because I asked them to follow, got fuck all. So anyways, I love you guys. 30's better than nothing, whatever, slowly. So yeah, I've got a lot of bullshit responses, a lot of people taking the piss out of me because I used to have a sick mullet. So they were asking me how to grow a mullet, blah, blah, blah. But I only really got one good suggestion. So that suggestion was, when should I start growing mushrooms? So like in my last video, I think I said about like where you can learn, you know, the books you can read, the forums you can go on, how to best use those books and forums, how to go about getting more experienced growers to help you, instead of asking them for everything without even doing anything first. So, you know, there was some good tips in that. Go back and listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet, then you're brand new. But yeah, when should I start? Well, there's two different answers to that. So, spore lung. So if you're starting as a hobby, if you just want to do this as a hobby, you want to grow mushrooms at home, start yesterday. Start straight away. Don't even think about it. Just start. So go buy a kit. Buy a kit straight away. If that's the first step, I told you in that other one, buy a kit. If you're thinking about it, if you've read the books or if you've had a little bit of a look, you don't wait. You don't need to read 3 books, 4 books, 5 books. It's like any other thing these days. Like, you get on a forum online, or you, I don't know, say you want to start to lose weight. So you start looking up all this shit and you get 1,000 different opinions from 1,000 different people. And it gets to the point where it's just information overload and you think, fuck, I don't know what's right. Who do I believe? What do I do? And you never start. Mushrooms are the same. To start, to get a kit, like a grow at home kit, you don't need to read anything. The website you buy it from and the info on the side of the kit will tell you everything you need to know. It is impossible to fuck it up. Do it. If you're interested, half interested, do it. If you don't want to buy a book or anything, you can't be bothered researching, buy a kit at home. I'm talking to my Australian people here. Little Acres is where I got my first one. Aussie Mushroom Supplies is another one. Another good mate of mine, the Mushroom Connection, sells them every once in a while. Pick one of those 3, they will work, you will grow mushrooms. So when should I start growing? If you're brand new, straight away. Boom, do it. If you're thinking, all right, I want to start from scratch and I don't want to buy a kit, I want to, you know, like sterilize things, do lab things, blah, blah, blah. All right, pick one book that online, like reviews say, this is the best book, this is the Bible, like it's got the highest reviews. Just pick one. It doesn't have to be like a mad lab textbook, like it just something. What's the ones? There's Radical Mycology, there's Guide to Gourmet and Medicinal Mushrooms. That's probably like a little bit full on. Like if you want like a full dummies version, not even dummies version, like just a basic one, basic stuff. What's it called? Can't even remember what it's called. Doesn't matter. Just pick one, read some of it, then order the shit and try. Now, if you were doing this as a hobby, you're not going to break the bank, all right? Like this is a This can be a cheap hobby. You don't have to buy pressure cookers. You don't have to do all this stuff. You can do low-tech ways and just start. You don't have to do courses, those online courses and like 2-day courses, whatever. Like they're $150, $200. They are awesome. There's so much information, but you don't have to do them to start. All right. To start, you just need to start. So do it. Read a book or watch something like, what's a YouTube thing? Maybe Fresh Cap. They got some like real basic, like, you know, for dummy stuff. Quality, like he knows more about mushrooms than me. I'm not calling him a dummy. I'm saying the content is easy to follow. Fresh Cap, I reckon. And Grow Cycle. I'd check those two out. Because they don't talk about electronics. They don't talk about like all crazy stuff. It's just like, this is what the mushrooms need. Get you started. Boom. Alright, do that. The reason I say that, you will learn more by growing your first crop of mushrooms or your second crop of mushrooms than you'll ever get in a forum, in a book, talking to fucking strangers that you don't even know if they know what they're talking about online. Just do it. You'll see what happens. Some of these books have things you can troubleshoot. Oh shit, this looks this way. Read it. Oh, boom, that's what's wrong. That's how you fast track your learning, by doing it. The way to stall your learning and to have no learning is to read too much. After you've done your first lot of mushies, then you go back and read stuff. Not even necessarily a different book. You can go back to the same book. So as your practical knowledge grows, you can go back to the same book and pick up new shit every time for the first couple of years. Like, there's one book I've read it probably 10 times in my first year or so, and I'll get something new from it every time, because at the start I'm like, fuck, what are they talking about? This is like madness. I'm never going to understand this. Now the summer I go back and I'm going, oh, that's the yep, I get it. So do that. Now, if you want to make this thing a business or like a paying hobby, a hobby that pays, I don't know, there's two different ways to look at this. So any businessy sort of thing, like a course or online, whatever, like teaching you about business, will tell you if you're going to go into a new business, you need to know your product inside and out. You need to know your processes, like everything about it inside out, like not to go into a business where you don't know anything about what you're doing. So if you take that on board, then you know you wouldn't go into having a mushroom business anytime within the first 12 months, because I'm over 12 months in and it feels like you legit never get a handle on them. I talk to people that have been around for 6, 7, 8 years and they say they are fucking still trying to figure them out, like they're still getting thrown curveballs. So that's the thing, like you go back to what I said before, for hobby growers. Well, if there's people 7, 8 years in the game that still are getting kicked in the nuts by mushrooms and still getting curveballs, maybe you should just start straight away. Maybe you just accept the fact that mushrooms will always probably have the upper hand and will always find a way to fuck you over. So start straight away. Now, I'm not saying mortgage the house, I'm not saying put yourself at risk, but what I did, I enrolled in my business course before I'd even harvested my first mushroom. So I was like, this was when Corona started, so I was like stood down for a bit anyway, so it wasn't working, but I just saw them and I was that excited by them and found them that interesting, and I just like got all nerd, like full nerd mode. I was like, I'm doing it, fuck it, I'm doing it. I just had this feeling, I'm doing it. So you don't need to have that feeling. You could just have a feeling of, hey, I find these things really interesting. I've got room in my backyard to grow 10 kilos. There's not really that many people doing it around here. If you could say, I'm talking to my Australian people, if you're living in an area where there's not really much going on, like mushrooms wise, 10 kilos, you can probably sell them for $40 a kilo. Depending on your area, obviously. I'm just talking basic oysters. So like as a hobby that can pay you $40, even if 35, like for 10 kilos, like 10 kilos you can grow in a tiny little space, 2 foot by 4 foot tent from Bunnings. Your setups will be $100, 150 maybe. that first batch of mushrooms is $300 and something. You will have fuck ups in weeks where you don't make anything and where you throw money down the drain, but it's not a big amount. So if you are looking at it as like, hey, I'm super interested in this, it's fun, I'm probably going to do it, but it would be cool to make some money. All right, when should you start? You should start now. Same as the other hobby thing. Just do it. Even if you don't sell them, it's fun, it will fast track your learning. Trying to fiddle around with like 10 kilos of mushrooms in this tiny little space, the cost you're putting out is probably the same. Honestly, like if you're trying to grow 2 kilos of mushrooms, the cost between that and trying to grow 10 kilos of mushrooms is probably the same, because you probably had to buy like a bale of sugar mulch or like of straw, which is like in Australia, $12, $15. You probably had to buy that anyway. So like we're not talking about like huge differences in money. The equipment to maintain these mushrooms is the same. So just do it. Worst case, you end up with 5-6 kilos of mushrooms that are a bit weird looking, which is what happened to me for ages. Just give them to your family, give them to your friends. They're going to be fucking 10 times better than the shit that you get at the supermarkets, the imported crap sitting in styrofoam, sweating for fuck knows how long, probably a month. Wouldn't even feed it to my worst enemy. Like, you'd be surprised how good your mushrooms will be compared to the other stuff that's on offer. So when should you get involved? Now. Just do it. If we're talking about full-on business like what I did, like I leaped in hard, 100% all in before I'd even harvested my first mushroom. I'm not going to like make recommendations on that, because for lots of people that's way too risky. And for me, it was super risky, not hella risky compared to some people, because I've got like a supportive family and a partner. So like I was able to rely on them a lot, and I'm very, very forever thankful for that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do what I've done. No way would I have been able to do it. So, I mean, it's not to say that I can't help you with that if that's your plan. I don't know, if that's your plan and you want help with that, then just you got to send me a message on Instagram or something, because I'm not going to be messing around with the comments in YouTube, just too much time. But yeah, I mean, I want to help people, so if you want to do that, hit me up and I might be able to provide you some information. But I wouldn't just blindly throw your life away for a mushroom farm information without a little bit more in-depth info and relationship between us going on, because I wouldn't want to send you to a dark place, because this mushroom stuff has sent me to a dark place probably 3 or 4 times in the last 15 months, where I thought I wanted to quit, and I thought it was a waste of time, even though I've had some mad success, like huge clients. One of the best chefs in Australia was my third client. And from there, everything just blew up. So there's no reason why, like, especially to my people in Australia, there's room, man. Like, there's room for more people to do that. Don't do it in Adelaide, because that's where I am. I don't want no competition. Just keep it away. Nah, but like the mushroom use is going to grow year in, and like it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Whether it's because it's the vegans or the health food, or like people are turning against livestock a little bit because it's not as efficient, doesn't make as much sense as what we once thought it was. Whatever, there's a million reasons why mushrooms are going to get bigger and bigger. So, I don't know, not to make my life more difficult by encouraging competition, but I don't know, mushies are the future. I can't tell a lie, I've got to tell the truth. So, hobby growers, how long do you need to learn before you start growing? Fucking yesterday. Grow now. Read minimal amounts of bare basics. Buy your do-it-yourself, grow-at-home kit and get started. You'll learn more shit from that than all this other crap that will confuse you. You'll have 1,000 different things in your head, and it will either stop you from ever getting started because you'll talk yourself out of it, or it just won't be enjoyable because you don't feel like you don't know what you're doing. You will not know what advice to choose. So just jump in, do it. Worst case, you will probably learn from your own mistakes and figure it out. Hobby grower who wants to make money, best time to do it. Same. Jump in, do it. Worst case, you're going to have some shit mushrooms to give to your friends and your family. And like I said, they'll be better than the crap you buy at the shops. So that's still a win. And you'll have fun. You might get a little bit devo if you get a couple of shit crops, but you'll learn and it'll be fun. Full blown, I'm going to launch into a mushy business. It's my it's my, not 24/7, but it's like my full-time job. Like that's my only source of income. I'm not going to give you too much advice on that. Like I said, that's up to you. It is possible to launch into it without knowing what you're doing. In hindsight, would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. But it's fucking hard, man. Don't get it twisted. It's hard, long hours, and when things go wrong, if you care about your customers and you have good relationships with them, it is fucking hard to tell them that they're not getting their mushrooms and you don't even know why. So it is very up and down. You have to be able to deal with the rejection. You have to be able to deal with fuck-ups that you don't understand. You have to be able to deal with making your own way and doing research and figuring out your own path, because you can't expect other growers to hand you the keys to the kingdom. All right, you got to figure it out yourself. You got to put in the hard yards. So would I do it again? Yeah, I would. Would I recommend everyone do it? No, I wouldn't, honestly. I wouldn't. It's fucking hard. And if you haven't got a support network, understanding people around you, forget about it. Forget about it. If you've got serious bills and serious commitments and you want to roll the dice, I'm not going to say do it, because it's fucking hard and it's very unpredictable at times. I hope that helps. No intention to scare anyone away. Everything about this channel is getting people into mushies and just, I don't know, I'm just, as they say these days a lot, speaking my truth. So yeah, I'm speaking my truth. It's what I've found, and I know that, you know, a lot of it will help other people. It's not going to help everyone, but whatever. Fucking hell, man, 17 minutes, way too long. I'm going to try and get these down to 10. I won't try too hard, but I'll try. Thanks for listening. I don't know, yeah, follow me on Instagram and send me a message on there if you want to hear about something specific, because I will just tell you the truth. There will be no editing. It is all one take, straight off of my fucking scone. No mucking around. Send me a message. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe on here as well so you don't miss out, but I don't really care about my numbers on here. Whatever. Hopefully I help one or two people. Cheers. Yeah, look at that. Tell me it's not the best mushroom logo in the world. Hooray! Cheers.